Hey guys, how are you? Here I am, the one that you love. Sorry. So I am home as I should be. It's 10:40 p.m. already. Oh my gosh. That means I gotta work on uploading this video and get some rest and go to work in the morning. Joyful, joyful. So there's like all kinds of things I could talk about, but I know this video is already kind of long, and so I don't know if I'll get to everything tonight, because I know some of you enjoy sitting through, your daddy time or whatever, and that's cool. I really appreciate that, honestly. I do. But my counseling went good today. I did cry a lot. And I can't remember if I talked about much at lunchtime with you guys. Yeah. Anyway, I cried a lot, but I needed to, I had to get those feelings out. We talked a lot, of course, my first day back to work after being gone a couple weeks, and I just didn't want to go, so I was really emotional about that. And she asked me about that. We talked about it. A lot of what I'm going through right now was triggered by all the recent deaths that I say recent meaning within the last year, 8 months. My dad was one of them. Heidi. Anyway, because of the deaths, and my age probably has something to do with it, but the deaths, I'm sorry you guys, the deaths are what triggered a lot of what I got going on here, and it's the fact that I am evaluating my own life and mortality. And I mean, my dad died, and now I'm, both of my parents are gone, and that was just something I knew it would happen one day, but I certainly would have liked them to be around longer, even though my relationship with my dad wasn't the greatest. And I think that's what is difficult too, because it wasn't the greatest, and I didn't take enough time to try to make things better. There are questions that I had for my dad that I never had the courage to ask him, and now they will forever be unanswered. And that bothers me a lot. But, I told her today that I know for a fact my mom did not die happy. I know that. I know Heidi did not die happy. Not even a little bit. My dad, I have no idea, because we never talked about a lot of that stuff. I was so afraid of my dad growing up. I never talked to him about anything. I was too afraid to even talk to him about most things as a kid. Never. And that was probably because he was into drugs and flew off the handle, lost his temper a lot, and so I did not want to cause any issue. I did not want to give him a reason to get pissed off at me. I was probably the biggest goody ever. The rat's making noise over there. It kind of freaked me out. Anyway, so that, and all this evaluation and things I've been thinking about, and my daughter's getting older and starting to be a lot more independent, and now I think of myself, and I never took time to do that before, never had to, well, just never did, and it's scary. So it's really, I feel like I'm like in this difficult place with my job because I've been there 23 years, and I honestly at one point thought I would just retire from there, and to suddenly, what feels like somewhat suddenly, just feel with all my heart that's not where I'm supposed to be. It's just, it is kind of scary, but at the same time, I'm not scared. I really want to move on to something else. I want to start blogging. I want to learn more about nutrition. I want to help others. I want to work with my husband in a business of our own. I would love to see that happen. So yeah. My boss did, this afternoon at work, my boss did call me in, and we talked. He wanted to level set, catch up, see how I was doing and whatnot. And of course, I was really teary-eyed, and what do you say? I mean, I had to be honest. I had to tell him that I am struggling to find myself, and that right now my heart is not in this job, but I know that I need this job. I can't just quit. That's just not an option. I cannot just stop it. Sorry, the cat. I cannot just take that leap of faith because we need the health insurance, especially with my husband's heart thing. We don't know anything about that yet. I carry the health insurance, and so it is difficult. If it were turned around and my husband had the full-time job with full-time benefits and all that, then I probably would take that leap of faith. If we weren't relying on my health benefits, I probably would. And hope for the best. But, stop it! Psst. No. Okay, he's annoying me. But anyway, that is, I could keep going on, and I know that something else I read today, okay, changing subject slightly, something I read today about female hormonal things. I have PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, and I read something about the testosterone levels being high, but then I also read something about estrogen levels, and all of this different stuff. I can't remember exactly everything, and I don't have that magazine with me. But it was a Dr. Oz article in the Oprah magazine, or whatever that's called. Oh, I was waiting for my counseling appointment. So anyways, but I was reading through these different hormone stuff and things you might have going on and whatever, and I'm like, oh my gosh, my hormones are completely out of whack. I am pretty sure of it. I am on a thyroid medicine, daily thyroid. I am on that, but I really need to work on me, seriously. I mean, I need to seriously sit down and make some goals that I can deal with and live with, and not only regarding future career employment or whatever, but my fitness, my health and wellness, because yeah, I'm feeling stronger because I'm exercising a little bit more, but I am nowhere near I need to be, and I have not lost any significant weight in a long, long time, and I have a problem with that. So I have so much work on myself. I need a complete overhaul. Hormones, mental, spiritual, and everything. I did have a really hard morning this morning, and I was at work listening to a bunch of different music on YouTube. I luckily have that option to plug in the headphones and just listen, and I listen to all kinds of different music, from spiritual, Christian rock to pop to whatever. But it did help me get through the morning, and so did a couple of comments on Facebook. Just reminding me that I need to be happy and I need to smile, and things may not always be perfect, but if, we spend our time being miserable, then what fun is that? So, a good reminder, because it's true. Here I say how fast time is going, how life is short, and yet there's been times I've spent so much time being sad and crying and depressed and everything else. And why? I mean, yeah, I was grieving the loss of my parents and the loss of my dear friend and the loss of my dog and all of this stuff happening so close together. And I'm allowed to grieve. That's fine. But to constantly spend time whining about this or that, or being sad because I don't want to do this or that, that's just wasting time. Truly, I'm wasting my own time, and yet I complain about how fast time's going. It doesn't make sense, does it? At all. So, I'm going to get better from here on out. I'm going to share, my positives. Stop it! That damn cat. Anyway. And yeah, I have a lot to work on. I have this camera sitting on a stack of self-help books. This is pathetic. Check this out. Oh my gosh, 12 minutes. Doing the work you love. Why we get fat. Find your happiness. And the Bible. Okay, so there we go. I am so sorry that this video is so long and I cannot line this up again. La 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 la. So, okay, say this with me. Okay, say this, repeat after me. I am alive, I will survive. Sing it if you want. I am alive, I will survive. Repeat it 10 times and write it down. And remember that it's the truth, because you are alive and you will survive. And so will I. And with that, I'm going to let you go, because I have talked your ear off plenty long enough. And this is going to be a really long video, and I apologize for that. If you sat through this entire thing, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. You are very awesome. I love your support. I love you. I love your smile. I love you. And you're wonderful. So, there you go. Peace, love, smiles. Bye-bye.